Hi everybody, I'm going to do chapter 16 and I'm really glad that you are enjoying it by the looks of it and by the reactions I get. Chapter 16. Respectfully, Rue says as soon as the five are in the kitchen. What the hell was that? Don't get me started, Aaron sighs. They do that all the time, you know. Last time I was living here too. What's the deal then? I asked. Do you know? I try not to pry, but like they'll be absolutely fine and then Manon's dead Renee will come up and they'll just go nuclear on each other. What I can gather is that Nuella walked out on Manon as a kid and there seems to be some dispute over whether or not that was Nuella's choice. We have all put some version of this together ourselves and still remain puzzled by the missing pieces. Nuella would never willingly walk out on her child, or kid as it says here. Lily says defensively, it must be Manon who has it wrong. Divorce is hard on people. My mum had a first husband, Vi says. They had my brother together and they are still in his life, but not in each other's. So Fiona is not particularly close with her brother in Boston, so I'm inclined to say she's only mentioning him so she can spring to Manon's defense. Manon and Nuella enter the kitchen, still tense, still unwilling to talk about it. Everyone, Nuella says grandly, how do you feel about a little Christmas party on Monday night? I suddenly have a lot of food to get through. Manon starts taking the hampers in from the porch, her back to her mother. She's only saying that so she doesn't have to eat any of it. She calls back and Fiona goes to help her. Well observed, Manny, Nuella says airily. Rue gets a phone call and takes it in the kitchen. Manon, Fiona, Lily and I unpack all the hampers in Nuella's living room and shabby and rarely used space that is temporary bedroom for Aaron. I notice his backpack and rolled up sleeping bag propped next to the couch. There's a packing straw everywhere and seemingly endless jars, tins, bottles of things, cured meat, soft cheeses, a big jar of courcelette, cherry tomatoes that look like they've been polished by tiny elves, chocolates, bunches of dried lavender. Your dad is very generous, I say, trying not to betray Nuella by saying anything too positive about mysterious Renee. It's Christmas and he's rich, Manon says carefully, unwrapping everything and not noting it dispassionately, as if adding to the household inventory. She's only doing this so that when he phones to ask if Finn enjoyed the food, I have to say she didn't eat any. Manon sighs. She is such a baby. I'm going for a drive, Nuella says flatly. Aaron, can I please have your cigarettes? Aaron throws his packet over without questioning her and Nuella catches it in mid-air. Thank you, she says shortly, and will you go and check on the chickens? I saw some hungry-looking foxes on the road earlier and I don't want to lose the new batch. Right on, Aaron says, pulling on some woman's Wellington boots and leaving the room. And here was me thinking I had escaped farm life. Nuella silently heads out the door and to her car. We watch her from the window as she sits smoking in the passenger seat, with clearly no intention to drive anywhere. Come on, Manon says, help me with this stuff. Don't pay attention to her trying anything you want. It's all the best stuff. It's all delicious. Look, this preserve is from Create. I think Create. Serret. I don't know. It must be a place in France where I was born. It occurs to us then that while Nuella is our dear friend, so is Manon, and for the first time ever she wants to share something with us. She talks quite animatedly about the town where she was born, the Pyrenees Mountains, the way she and her parents used to drive to Spain for the afternoon when they still lived in the hills. I could speak Catalan too, Manon says shyly. I still remember some of it, even though I was only 5. When did I start to ask, then wonder if Manon and I are at the same level of closeness. I don't know if I can ask her when her mother left. I break off, and then I can feel Manon's eyes on me. Has he talked to you, Manon asks me. About his power? Who? Aaron, I ask, realizing he's left in our circle. She nods, looking at me steadily. Not really. Why? She sits back, legs crossed, and stares absently at the mantelpiece. She looks like a little god. Sometimes I feel like he is a foster brother or something like that, she says. Like I have to teach him things he did not learn from his first family. What do you mean? Manon shakes her head. I suppose it's probably private, she said. Here, smell this. She passes me a bundle of dried lavender. It's rich, cleaner than I remember lavender smelling. Not like the old ladies at all, more like peppermint. We sit on the floor, tasting and trying things. It is all delicious. At some point, I realize that Rue has been gone for a long time, and I drift into the kitchen to find them. Hey, I say. Rue is leaning against the counter, typing on his phone. You okay out there? Yeah. Just, band stuff. What kind of band stuff? Rue gazes out of the kitchen window for a moment, clearly wrestling with some competing emotions. So earlier in the car, right, I told you about the playlist thing. Yes, turns out it's a bigger deal than I initially thought. Okay, so we were always supposed to be starting the tour with Honor in April, right? But now, well, some people have reached out to us. It might make sense for us to do more solo shows before the tour starts, with us headlining, like a mini tour. Wow, I say, leaning back against the counter. That's great. It would start in January and probably go until the end of February, with some UK dates and everything. I blink. So you would have March at home, I say slowly, and then you are out on tour again in April. They nod. Well, March, we are supposed to be recording the album, right? There's a silence, and then I remember myself. Well, congratulations. But neither of us can muster up much enthusiasm. This is at least 4 months of Rue away from Kilbeg. They look at me. eyes streaked in black, their expression unreadable, yet they say congratulations to me. I guess another tense silence. Listen, let's just say it. I finally start speaking, trying to adopt a positive tone as possible. We are not going to see much of each other for a few months, which, given that I am supposed to be studying for exams, might be a good thing. Give me time to focus. You know, I refuse to engage in the insecure part of myself that is always just a little bit frightened of being left behind. I remember Fiona at the party quaking with nerves about leaving Kilbeg, wondering if it all is a bit too soon. I can't think about myself too much. Fiona and Rue are, after all, doing the scary thing, not me. Rue nods, trying to be reassured by this, but Dory, the children, I shake my head. Listen, if there is one thing I've learned about the children, it's that they are bigger than us. They are always going to come back with something, and if there's one thing I have learned from the horrible conversations tonight, it's that we are not exactly her top priority now. We should relish that. I almost say starving and emotionally torturing other people is her top priority right now, but I don't want Rue to feel guilty about leaving. So I just stop talking. We have to live our lives, Rue. Fiona too. This was always in both of your plans. You've always known you want to be an artist. Upending your life plan is letting them win in a way. Sorry. Rue laughs softly. You sound like one of those people. If we don't go on holidays, we are letting the tourists win people. Well, maybe they have a point, I say, and I wrap my arms around them. This is amazing news, I stress. Let's just have fun Christmas. A fun Christmas and good New Year, and we'll worry about the long-distance stuff when we have to. Rue finally manages a smile, a real one. Good. God, look at you, Miss Emotional Maturity. What happened to that bitchy little schoolgirl? I'm still a bitchy little schoolgirl. We kiss, the terror of losing each other so huge that suddenly my back is pressed against the fridge and we have lost ourselves to making out in Noella's kitchen. Jesus, Fiona interrupts. Get a room, you two. Don't get a room, Manon calls. Go outside. Animals. I laugh. I should go, I say, looking at my watch. My parents are going to be livid that I wasn't home earlier. All my siblings are back today. I'll drop you, Rue says. Fie, Lil, I'm heading out soon. Lil gets up, still eating a chocolate. Pierre Noël. Bon. I might stick around for a bit, Fiona says quietly, then checks to see Manon's reactions. Manon is busy collecting paper and cardboard for recycling. Yes, stay, Manon says, sounding distracted, so my mother can't go crazy again. We leave soon afterwards. Noella and Erin both smoking in the car. Fiona and Manon sitting on the living room floor. I make desperate eyes with Fiona as I put on my coat, trying to signal a please text me the instant anything happens. As usual, Rue drops Lily off first and then me. We sit in the car and watch the windows of my house like it is a theatre. I would better go in, Mum will be so annoyed I didn't come home sooner. Wait a second, Rue says, pulling me back, tucking me under me under the shoulder. You freaked me out today. You just disappeared into thin air. I know, that must have been so freaky. I'm sorry. It wasn't just that. It was that you disappeared together. Oh, I was like, I finally understood why you would get so weirdly jealous about me and Fiona, or me and the band, or whatever. I thought you were just being immature, but seeing someone you love have connection with someone who isn't you, even if it's, I don't know, platonic, it's hard. A pause. I do trust you, Rue says, unconvincingly. Okay, I say slowly. The way you are saying it doesn't sound like you trust me very much at all. I remember the moment at school when I thought Aaron might want to kiss me, the hint of excitement at what might happen. Shame burbles through me. But then I remember my own advice. It's just your actions that are important, not your thoughts. I had jumped up, ending this attention as soon as I realized it was there. Suddenly, I'm annoyed with those everyone feel. Why does everyone feel so comfortable reprimanding me all the time? If it's not Fiona, it's Rue. If it's not my parents, it's my teachers. If it is not my classmates accusing me of making Lily disappear, it's Lily herself, furious for bringing her back. I'm just a person who didn't ask for any of this. Not for the magic, not for the responsibility of keeping the well safe. Yet everyone else seems to rub along just fine, and I have somehow become the lightning rod for every minor complaint. It's just Rue continues. You have this connection, the two of you, and I know you can't help being sensitives. But the way you were at the school together, just by coincidence, and that note. This is why you are nervous about leaving, isn't it? I snap, suddenly very bored of this. The whole business about being nervous about Dory. You just think I'm going to cheat on you if you leave. No, Rue says quickly. I don't think that. I gaze out of the window. I have to go, I say. Don't go, Maeve. I have to. Why? Because I'm afraid that if I stay a second longer, I'll read your mind and find out how you really feel. I don't slam the door. Slamming the door is something an immature person would do after all. I kiss Rue on the cheek and leave the car quietly. I say hello to my brothers and act normal for an hour. Then I go upstairs to cry in bed, maturely. Wow. So, will she fall in love with Rue, or will something happen if Aaron, and if Rue leaves? We'll find out, hopefully, in the next chapter or two. Take care.